Welcome back, everybody. All for Gun here. So we just got a package in today from Academy. We're gonna go ahead and open this up. And inside we have the Timney Alpha for Gen 3 and 4. Red 3-pound pool. And in this box we have a Glock. Surprise, surprise. Alright, so there's no ammo present. Magazines are empty. Show clear. Clear. Safe direction. Safe gun. Alright, so we're going to take this down, but according to YouTube, you can't see this part, so. Alright. So now to change out the Timney, we're going to have to take out these two pins and this peg back here. For that, we're going to need a punch and a bludgeoning tool. I also have this little box right here, which I like to use as a pin catch. So I'll line it up like that. And then and once the pins start coming out, you can line it up and get it out. Offset just slightly. There it goes. There's that one. Inside here, you see the slide stop, slide release. Well, that likes to catch up sometimes on the trigger bar itself. And so, as it's coming out, you kind of have to wiggle that some. There it goes. Got those pins captured inside of the box. That way we don't lose them. Right, now we gotta get this last pin out. I like to keep the pins inside of the box, that way I don't lose them. So now we're going to lift up on the trigger pack, the locking block, and then it all comes out just like that. And so this is the actual part that we're going to change out for today. It's going to be this little trigger bar right here. Disconnector, all that comes out and all that goes in. So let's see, keep that. So next we need to take and remove the trigger itself. So this here you're going to have to twist up and out at the same time. There it goes. And we'll disconnect it from the spring. Spring off. might be smaller. There it goes. You can see this one's been previously loved. So let's see. This little screw right here is one way that you can use to adjust the actual trigger weight pull. Alright. Let's see. You take this and then the curve, and the curved side goes together, and the flat side and the flat side go together. That goes down into there. I have to loosen the screw up just a little bit more. Try not to take it all the way out if I can avoid that. It's a little bit of a pain in the butt to get back in. And inside of our little bag of goodies, you've got a red spring, and it's supposed to be a green spring, but it doesn't look very green in the photo. And your C-clip. The C-clip goes into the back portion of this here, if I can do it without messing up too bad. Let's see, where did I set those tweezers at? Alright, here we go. These are not your average tweezers. So as you squeeze down on them, they lock, unlock. We'll grab this here, lock that firm into place. See, you might need to loosen that screw up a little bit more. In here. Now, if you tighten this up more, you'll notice the red starts to disappear from right here. You can actually control how light you want that trigger pull to be by adjusting that screw. I like to leave it to where there's just a little bit of red showing, because if you go too far down in, it won't be very drop safe, to say the least. Alright, and so now we take and put this back together here. And let's see. But if you need instructions, you can scan that QR code right there, and that will help you out. Or if need be, it does have these instructions in here. And I guess it is supposed to be a silver spring. The other one I have for the Gen 5 has a green and a red. But if you want to screenshot that, and if you need any help with that, please feel free to shoot me a comment. I'll be glad to walk you through it. Alright, now we take and we drop all this back in here. I like to make sure that the trigger shoe is facing downward. That helps it to slide in a little easier. And now we need the pin for the trigger bar. And the trigger pin is this fatter one. You can see how it's got those grooves in there. That's what was hanging on to the slide lock, slide release, slide catch, whatever you want to call it. And that's what was giving me a pain in the butt earlier. So we're going to have to take and slide that back in here. And alright, and before we put the locking block in, we're going to want to put the spring onto the trigger right here. Just like that. And then when you go to put your locking block in, you're going to want to make sure that you have both wings of that spring pushed forward. Alright, see how that would go straight through right there? And then these humps actually hold on to the spring and the slide release. So we'll prep that up. Now, let's grab a hold of that spring. Slide the locking block in. You want to make sure that the forks on your locking block are facing towards the muzzle. You don't want that spring to slide off. And then as you're pushing it through, just as you start to see, right there, back it off slightly. Sorry if y'all hear the rain and noise in the background. We've got the tail end of a hurricane that's trying to smack us around a little bit. Now we'll take and slide that slide stop, slide release. There. See if we can't get it to hang up on that. Hold that down, slide that up. Nope, missed it. Take the punch here, kind of walk that around on it. Once we have that in place, we'll slide that up. sure we're all lined up here. Alright. Now we have the trigger pin in. Let's get that locking block pin. The locking block pin is going to be thinner. It's going to come from Glock as a steel pin, but it's going to have little raised ends on it on both sides. And so when you actually slide that in, the locking block will get stuck, or the pin will get stuck on the locking block, so that way it doesn't work itself out, which is an issue that a lot of aftermarket Glock pins have, because they'll just be a straight peg. Now I want to make sure our spring's clear. Just to make sure it's seated. You should feel it kind of click in past that locking block, and it should have a little bit of side-to-side slide. But let's see. Seems like it's working pretty good. Now, I'm gonna pause this for a second so that way YouTube doesn't cry at us for me assembling a firearm in front of you. Alright. Function check. Everybody on Wilson Combat YouTube channel just cried. And they did it again. And we've got a little bit of take up, a well-defined wall, and a crisp break. Take up wall, and it is a very firm wall. You can feel it when it begins to push down. And let's check the reset. So the reset and the take up are about the same spot. Notice it drops back even more. It's because your little arm that was in there is now underneath of the striker, and now it's above it. Very nice. Alright, and last but not least, go ahead and get the trigger control pack pin in there. And it may not sit absolutely flush, but you kind of want to split the difference on them. Thank you all so much for spending some time with me. Please, I greatly appreciate you guys. I cannot say it enough. Thank you so much from the bottom of my heart for all the engagement. Please like, share, subscribe. Continue to help me get out there. The more we get out there, the more we grow, the more interesting things we can start to do. And if y'all want to see something, let me know. You know, I can't read everybody's mind. And I'm just kind of randomly showing you what pops up in my day-to-day life. Thank you all again from the bottom of my heart. And as always, all for gun, gun for all.